I just want some humbugs and pear drops, nothing fancy.
Hello everyone and Merry Christmas, and to keep you in the Christmas spirit, we're here with our best games of 2025. We've decided to only have our top 3 because if we were just going to talk about our overall best games, I think we would have a lot more than 3 each. I definitely would. And we want to keep things light and airy, and not too
We don't have
long.
time to talk about 30 video games, but if we do 3 each, plus one extra one to round it up to 10, that should be a decent sized video, which you can enjoy with a lovely pint of Windfall Ale here at the Grendel's Head pub, because that's where we are, hanging out in the pub in Atomfall. It's £8 a pint, though, by the way, London prices.
£8?
Sorry, it's London prices. You should find out what it is for a gin. Holy shit!
Even in an apocalypse
as well. Let's buy a house for that.
You know, it's quarantine. We've got to sneak things over the wall. But anyway, who wants to go first with their first favourite game of 2025?
I think Jim should go first.
You think I should go first? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, right, my first, and I think actually genuinely my ultimate game of the year for 2025 is Baby Steps.
Baby Steps.
Baby
Yes.
The game that you were raging about.
I can't stress enough how, like, my personal feelings don't come into this.
Okay. Please explain. I'd love to hear, because I also heard you raging.
Okay, well, you would have also heard me raving about it as well.
Raging and raving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Baby Steps is it's an infuriating experience where you embody a 35-year-old fail son who is sitting watching One Piece one night in a extremely manky onesie, which is very on brand. And it's a wonderful audience insert, and it's so nasty about gamers, which is
honestly
probably why most people have kind of swerved past it. The thing I love about Baby Steps is that it's been marketed, or it looks like one of these silly sort of surgeon simulator things where it's just an anger-inducing game with rubbish controls, and the whole point is just to be streamed by annoying people. And I think that's the main reason why a lot of people dismissed it. But it's actually a very, very clever game about video games, and a real statement about open world game design, about the futility of it, ultimately. And there's a lot of sort of real cosmic jokes going on with Baby Steps, in the sense that it's not actually built on bad comical controls. It's actually one of the most precisely controllable video game characters that's ever been conceived. You've got absolute one-to-one control over the guy's foot placement, and that's why you keep falling over. Ultimately, it sets you up to fail just by giving you the kind of agency that you think you want as a player. And then it also just has banana skins materializing under your feet when you get to the top of a tower. So, there is a lot of piss taking about it as well. But it's an infuriating game. I found it, at points, I laughed a lot at its sort of chutzpah. And at other points, I wanted to put my foot through the TV.
It does sound like the developer is kind of torturing whoever decides to play it. Is that right?
I think there's an element of that. But I was talking to Andy Hamilton about this, a legendary figure in the industry, and he explained to me a point of the game that I never actually got to because it just defeated me, right? But I think this sums up how beautiful the game is quite well, and how it all comes to a head, talking about the futility of open world design and the futility of the entire hobby, I guess. Towards the end of the game, the sort of climactic part is you've got to get up this sort of sheer cliff face, right? And it's
difficult even in real
Manbreaker.
Life when you have control over all of your limbs.
Well, exactly. And it's intimidating. I think it's called the Manbreaker in game, and but you've also got this giant spiral staircase that it'll take you a while, and it'll be boring. but it's a much safer way to the top. Now, you can go that route, and at the top, you get an achievement if you take the easy route.
Right.
If you take the Manbreaker route, it'll take you forever. You'll have lots of restarts because you will fall off and hit the bottom. And it'll be one of the most frustrating experiences of your life. And ultimately, you get to the same place as if you took the easy. But there won't be an achievement. It doesn't give you anything.
What? For the harder route?
It doesn't give you anything for the harder route. But what it does, instead of rewarding you for taking the hard route, it puts a black mark on your account if you take the easy route. So having that achievement means...
Oh,
you're a
it means
coward.
everyone knows that you took the easy route.
So it's the opposite of an achievement.
Right.
It's like...
that
achievement.
That is a big troll from the developer in a way.
It's really funny.
It's beautiful.
It's very
absolutely
funny,
beautiful. But I can't stress how much it is. It's a beautifully designed game. It's funny through its kind of mechanics as well, which is something that doesn't happen very often. Like most video games that are funny because of their writing. They're not funny because of like what they do mechanically. So this is very witty in the way it mucks about with you as you're kind of traipsing around the world. Like it taunts you with stuff. Like there's a football field and a goal at there's the football and there's like the goal post at the other end, and you're just tempted to go and kick this ball, right? And everyone who sees this is going to go, I'm going to go and kick that ball. I'm going to get it in the goal. Surely there's an achievement for that. And it looks like the easiest thing in the world, right? I'm just going to get this ball into that goal. But you discover very quickly that the pitch is like on a very imperceptible incline away from the goal. So you're constantly just battling against the laws of physics, which are just very, very slightly, almost imperceptibly pitted against you, but enough that it's actually impossible.
Amazing.
And this game that tortures you is one of your best games of the year.
Yeah,
I think it's incredible. I think it pushes the medium in so many ways. And the last thing I want to say about it, because I know we don't want to talk about baby steps forever, is that the cutscenes, when it is when it does do sort of story stuff, all the cutscenes are improvised in similarly to the way Curb Your Enthusiasm is. So, you know, there's no script, but they've got kind of places where they want to get to in the scene, and they just riff. And then the scenes are built around that riffing that they've done in the VO booth, and it works wonderfully. And I've never seen a game do that before. I've seen games that have included sort of improvised voice lines that people have done, but I've never seen a game built around that concept of controlled improv.
So it sounds like if you haven't had enough arguments with your family over Christmas and you want to have an argument with yourself and your abilities, you should play Baby Steps. Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it might even be a nice sort of social lubricant at Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, if you have trouble dealing with your family or extended family, just get all that. Get annoyed with yourself before you get annoyed with them.
Yeah.
And then if anything, talking to your racist uncle will be a relief.
Yeah. You need to like grind yourself down to nothing so that nothing gets on your nerves after playing Baby Steps. Honestly, the more you talk about it, Jim, the more I'm like, this could work. I might need some emotional numbing over Christmas, so why not play the game?
I'd rather drink booze. Yeah, I'd rather just
that
get
is
drunk.
the other option, just alcoholism.
Also, Manbreaker was my nickname at university. Not really.
Some lore being dropped in this Christmas video. So how about you, Ian? What's one of your top games of 2025?
Well, I'm going to go from Jim's criticism on open worlds, or Jim's video game criticism on open worlds, to an open world game that I really enjoyed because it was open, but not so open that it completely sapped my time away. Some open world games are too long, and Atomfall, which takes place in the 1960s post-nuclear kind of dystopia, which we're in right now, cheers, is a wonderful little open world game which doesn't rob you of too much time. You can have these amazing little open world stealthy adventures. You can dip in and out. Each of the 6, I think it is, areas are quite small but highly detailed, so you still feel like there's loads to discover and lots to find. But it's just a nicely paced, nice and brief experience. Plus, you can kill absolutely everybody in the game. If you kill someone or shoot someone, the gun doesn't stop you from firing or anything. You can murder everyone, and you can still complete the game even if you wander into Windham Village and bump off a main quest giver. It's very
incredible.
Very freeing, Zoe, and I did spend one day just wandering around seeing if I could murder everyone in Windham Village. I don't know what that says about me.
Westworld hates to see you coming.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's probably some kind of psychiatric thing there, but it was like no consequences, running around murdering everyone. Then I could just reload the save and carry on with the story. But yeah, I really liked it. Lovely sci-fi mystery going on, some nice little DLC packs, and I clubbed to death a man who was having a wee-wee. So
with a cricket bat,
yeah,
right?
with a cricket bat. So yeah,
Ian was very proud of that. He shared all that with us, and I'm
the man breaker thing coming back.
Exactly. This is how I got the nickname. But yeah, so not much else to say about Atomfall because I've spoken loads about it in previews and things. But yeah, Atomfall. I loved it. I had a really good time, and I hope they do an Atomfall 2.
I would be
Fallout? No.
I would be so surprised if they didn't do a second one, because so often with games like Atomfall, it was the same with Horizon Zero Dawn. You can see the first game is good, but you just know the sequel is going to be incredible because of the stage the first one was at.
That's true. And if there's one thing
really
Rebellion's good at,
water
it's
with
doing the same game over and over and over again. Sniper Elite.
I mean, if it works, why stop?
Exactly. They're the fast show of video game developers. But anyway, how about you, Zoe?
Atomfall a lot.
Oh, what's this, sorry? I
was just I agree about Atomfall. It's definitely one of the best games of the year. It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's good.
I was on my Steam Deck.
Yes, give it a go. You've not played it?
No, I haven't. No.
Give it a go.
I know. But you know what I have played?
What?
Waits for comeback from Jim and Ian, so this seems like a natural segue.
Hello Kitty Adventures.
No, that is a great game though. Silent Hill F.
Oh yeah.
Oh my days.
Oh, nice.
Jim and Ian are probably sick and tired of hearing me talk about this game because ever since it came out, I've been regularly talking and pitching it in our morning meetings. I am obsessed with it. It isn't perfect. The combat is a bit clunky, or quite clunky, and kind of unnecessary in some bits. But the story and the world is just really beautifully done. So for those of you who don't know, Silent Hill F is set in 1960s rural Japan, and you take on the role of Hinako, who is a young girl who is going through something. You don't really know what until you complete the game, but usual Silent Hill antics ensue. There's the other world. You have some friends that you're trying to keep track of when you're going through the village. And you and the player, as the player, are trying to figure out what's made all of this happen and what the is going on. But what's incredible about Silent Hill F is not only the nuance with which they've told a story about a young girl kind of coming into adulthood, it's also the fact that in New Game Plus, every iterative time you play the game, obviously you can get different endings, very normal for Silent Hill, but you get more notes, sometimes different boss encounters, new quests, new areas are opened. It kind of takes the first playthrough as a building block, and then it's okay, and here's all the other bits of the story. And what's great about the New Game Plus mode as well is that it starts you off with all of your abilities from the end of the first playthrough, so you just you just fly through some bits of the game that are a bit tedious second time around. But Silent Hill F is fantastically written. The characters are really well actualized. They don't feel two-dimensional at all. And then once you've played it, you can look at all the memes and stuff online that people have done of it, and they're really funny too. So
I haven't seen any of the memes, but I also I've completed it once and I didn't understand what was going on at the end, so I do need to go.
You can watch my Silent Hill If Everything Explained video, Ian, if you would like.
So I did watch a little bit of it before I completed the game, and I was like, this is spoilery, and then I have forgotten to go back to it. So yes, this is a good time for me to do it.
Christmas break activity for all of you watching this.
Yes.
I think it goes without saying that all of the games that we talk about in this video, we all have made at least one video on. So more content. Who doesn't love more content around Christmas?
Talk about content. What was the memes? Sorry, I butted in on you.
So the memes are mainly based around Hinako being completely unhinged when it comes to combat. So she's like 15 years old, 16 maybe, and she goes at these enemies with like a steel f***ing pipe or like an axe. So the memes are mostly about like James from Silent Hill 2 being scared of her because she's just like, let's f***ing go. It's really, really good. Because there's no guns in the game, so it's all melee, and she's just this little kid like taking out all of her trauma on these like terrifying creatures. But yeah, so that's definitely in my top 3, if not my favourite game of the year. Nice. So Jim, returning to you, what is your second top 3 game of the year?
I feel like I've made some mistakes in picking mine.
This is going to be a game we haven't heard of, isn't it, Jim?
I tell you what as well. Just looking at the waveform for this, right? You guys managed to knock through 2 of these in less than the time it took me to talk about baby steps. So I'm feeling very self-conscious.
You basically talked about baby steps in the style of the baby steps game.
Yeah.
Such a read. But we love hearing you talk, Jim. We like hearing your opinions. You have very good opinions. So what's your second
tell us about this game
backtrack
we've never heard of.
Right, okay, so I'm going to talk now about Easy Delivery Co., which I don't think either of you have heard of.
No.
Okay, I don't think anyone's heard of it. Okay, so Easy Delivery Co. is a very unsettling sort of chibi delivery simulator where you're in one of those little Japanese flatbed trucks. Cool. And it's a PS1 style driving sim for a lot of it. It's that beautiful like 32-bit look that's become quite in vogue now for sort of, I wouldn't call it a horror game, but it's unsettling. It's definitely meant to be a little bit Lynchian. It's set in a sort of mountain-based open world with like lots of little sort of towns and villages and little NPCs, and you just like delivering flowers from a flower shop to the next town along, and then you'll take another job to do. So you've got to deliver things and earn money, and it's tactile. You have to pick things up from the shop and put it in the back of the van and close the thing, and it feels like there's a lovely little kind of rhythm and process to it, but it's also weird. And over the course of the game, you start getting hints of something a bit more odd going on than a straightforward, okay, this is just an animal, this is a mountain community of little Animal Crossing style characters. This is actually like, and there's like a train that seems to go to nowhere, and there's like the characters start making odd references to an idea that they might not have any agency themselves, or that they might have all been abandoned, or that they're prevented from doing certain things that they would like to because of their programming. Almost that the NPCs might be a little bit self-aware about the nature of the fact that they're in the video game.
Oh, cool.
And it's subtle about that, but it's not like in your face meta. It's just there's hints about it where like conceptually you start to feel a little bit uneasy about what's going on, and then it just starts doing video gamey things like you just clip through stuff and it's part of the game mechanics. And
I love that. That's cool.
It's great, and the writing is fantastic. There's no voice acting or anything because it's all like Nintendo style. This could have been a DS game, basically, is what they're going for.
It sounds like one of those kind of like haunted video games that some people have done, like Donkey Literature Club and
One Shot. One Shot had a lot of meta stuff going on, like in that side of the game.
Yeah, it's. I guess. Yeah, if you were to nutshell it, Ian, it's like a.
I'm all about being
a
simple.
haunt.
It's just
like a
like
haunted
Stardew
DS
Valley.
game.
But scary.
Yeah.
This sounds really cool, though. What's it called? Perfect Delivery Company.
Easy Delivery Company.
Easy Delivery.
So
I'm going to play this. I think this sounds cool.
It's really good. It's very cheap as well. It's pitched as a chill game without any sort of really hard consequences for anything, right? So the idea, it's like in some ways it's like the polar opposite of Baby Steps, right? The game even tells you there's not even any consequences if things fall out the back of your truck. Try not to make it happen, but you're not going to be penalised really.
Like an every driver.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, every driver simulator. But it's a spooky place, and very odd and unsettling in the most wonderfully video gamey way. A haunted lost DS game from the Netherrealm.
Amazing.
That sounds fantastic. I'm absolutely playing that.
I actually think
so
Zoe,
cool.
you'd love it. I think
Yeah.
you'd be well into it.
The second you said like Animal Crossing style but cursed, I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm down.
yeah.
That is a very Zoe vibe, for definite.
Thank you. So what about you, Ian?
Yeah.
What's your second top
My
three
second
favourite
top
game?
3 game is a game that has been described by some people as dadcore, and it is a multiplayer game that we've all played. It's Are We There Yet? Which
Love RV there, yeah.
yeah, I was I really enjoy it. I've been streaming it with my friends and playing it with my friends like outside of work as well because I'm having so much fun with it. But we had loads of fun with Lethal Company back a couple of years ago, and I really wanted something that had that kind of vibe. And as much as I enjoyed Peak for the first couple of times we played it, it didn't really have that kind of social vibe to it. You could just wander off in Peak and like go off climbing on your own and everything. But in Are We There Yet, you kind of have to all stay together and work together, and that means inevitably comical arguments because of all the weird physics going on. Like you'll get your van stuck and try and winch it out and it'll ping the van off and a wall will come off, or a bear will attack and knock the side of the van off, and everyone will be like, oh my god, Ian, you're supposed to have the bear spray, and I'll be like, yeah, but I was doing the winch, and it becomes this kind of like almost like an old school like 1990s British comedy show.
Yeah.
Like, just like a bunch of people bumbling around the wilderness, smoking cigarettes, drinking some beers, and like occasionally trying to do a jump in a rickety old RV. And yeah, it's great because you have to work together with your friends, but also there's these quiet moments either where the road is just nice and wide and gives you a little bit of a breathing space to enjoy the view, or you get to these garage checkpoints and you can fix up your car and stuff, and you can just have a chat, and like it's like hanging out with your pals and having a lovely time with occasional some madcap mischief and mishaps going on, and it really hits my kind of what's it called when you laugh at someone who gets hit in the face?
Schadenfreude.
Maybe the type of comedy where
or slapstick.
That's it. It kind of hits my slapstick funny bone as well. Like you got all this just unexpected events going on across this really rough terrain, and we only played like up until like the first checkpoint, but then later on there's like a bit, the forest catches on fire, and then there's another bit where you have to go through a really dark tunnel and things.
Honestly, it was so good.
Yeah.
What I really liked about it, and I'm sure you feel this way as well, Ian, is like there's a genuine sense of achievement to it as well. So when you get to the checkpoint or when you get past that difficult bit, like do you remember you can watch this on Eurogamer YouTube, by the way, when we like stuck a winch into a rock and like winched the bus so that it was like at just the right angle to then go somewhere else, and the feeling of all of us like being like, yeah, almost there, and then at work we're just like, yeah, after being stuck for a while. It was such a lovely feeling, and I think with games like Lethal Company and Peak, although they're fantastic, there's not that sense of shared achievement.
No, definitely not. You're more laughing at other people's mishaps in Lethal Company, whereas Are We There? Like you said, you're working together and sharing like the happiness of not crashing.
Yeah.
It's in the other games that are like this, too often you'll end up dead while another person is on their own, or you'll just be on your own having to finish a level or just die quickly so you can all... It gives you much more than the other games. Like that sense of progression you're talking about, it makes you feel good. It gives you that dopamine that the other games don't, because they are just like a hard slog or you're just dead. But RV there is a bit more forgiving, and it's just enough that it elevates it. I think it's good.
Yeah, although you can kill your friends by throwing them off cliffs, which
that is funny.
I found out.
I wonder how you found that out, Ian.
Who could possibly know?
Who knows?
Who knows? Anyway, moving on. Zoe, what's your next game?
My next favourite game was Cronos New Dawn.
Ooh, okay.
So
Nice.
I think, Ian, you played it?
I did. I didn't like it.
I know, it's a game that's like, I think some people have bounced
First
off
bit of
of.
controversy.
Yeah, God forbid Jim talking about games that people bounce off of, and I'm now going to talk about Cronos. But people bounced off of Cronos because it's quite difficult and can feel quite unfair sometimes, because there's a limited amount of ammo and there's too many enemies, so you can't kill all the enemies. But if you just kind of like accept that you're not going to have a lot of bullets and stuff, and you're just going to suffer for the entire time, it's really good. It's got a great element of mystique to it when you're trying to figure out what's going on, who you are, and like what happened to make this disaster unfold. It really like pushes you through the game, and that sense of you don't beat a level because you kill all the enemies, you beat a level because you finally understand the exact sequence of actions you have to take in order to get past a certain level. And I just found that really fulfilling, actually. I think I'd been playing a lot of like quite cozy games before that, so to come to Cronos the New Dawn and be a bit scared, and also in like a ruined Soviet atmosphere where there are like notes from kids trying to figure out what happened to their parents and things like that. I just really liked Cronos New Dawn, so yeah.
Visually, I loved it. Like, I'm down with that like weird dystopian post-apocalyptic manky flesh wall future, but the thing that made me stop, like, and I wasn't a big fan of the limited inventory system because I had to do a lot of backtracking, and that annoys me, but the thing that made me stop is I played for about half an hour, got through some really tough fights, and then died, and the autosave put me back like half an hour, and I was like, nah. But
yeah, so Cronos New Dawn, definitely one of my favourite games of 2025, for sure. So now, because I've talked about very frustrating things, I think it's only fair that Jim tells us the other game he found frustrating, but somehow still loved in 2025.
I thought you were going to say Jim is frustrating.
No, that sounded so catty, and that wasn't how it was meant to sound in my head.
Talking about frustrating things, over to Jim.
Yeah,
I'm a very frustrating man.
No, you're not at all.
Old Skies. It's actually a game that is very easy and not frustrating at all. But it is a time travel game.
Okay.
Cool.
Following on from Cronos, which I think Cronos is like a sort of 12 Monkeys style thing. Old Skies is a Wadget Eye game. It's in the same universe as the Blackwell series and Unavowed. It's like their sort of New York cinematic universe where a bunch of weird stuff happens all the time. Usually supernatural, but this time it's like this sci-fi setup where you work for a company, like a sort of weird thing that's turned travel into the past into a strange space tourism thing for extremely rich people. I think it's on some level a critique of space tourism. But people want to go back and change things about their lives, essentially. And you work for a company that regulates that, makes sure that like they don't mess up the timeline too much. And it also has this weird sort of setup where like the world around your character is changing constantly because time is now in flux. But certain people and certain events are like what they call chronologue. So, but the kind of the minute to minute stuff you're doing, it's a point and click adventure game, and it's episodic. So each kind of act is like a different time period. Some rich person has come along and gone, we want to find out when this artist painted this painting, because they didn't date it, but they signed it and we know it's them, and but we don't know who the artist actually is. It's a pseudonym, and it's sort of weird kind of businessy stuff like that leads into like wider conspiracies. There's one where someone comes to you whose best friend was killed the night before 9/11, and in the chaos of what happened, the murderer is never caught, because obviously at that time the police are just so preoccupied with 9/11, which is obviously the creator is from New York, and that felt like a wonderfully kind of New York sort of twist on that sort of story. So it's not about undoing 9/11, which is just a major event in history that kind of has to happen, otherwise history doesn't happen. But it's sort of fixing an injustice that happened as a result of it, a small thing. It's poignant and it's nice. It's funny. It's really well written, and the best way I can describe it is that it feels like a warm blanket of 90s television. It's like Quantum Leap or something in some ways, in a lot of ways actually. But it's got that sense of like, I've played this before, and I like it.
I was I was thinking, like, when you were talking and saying it was point and click, it sounds like kind of like an old school 90s PC game. Does it play just like one of those, or is there any modern
exactly
stuff to
like
it?
that? Yeah, Wadget Eyes games are like that, and if you like that kind of stuff, like they are like a modern studio that's really doing wonderful things with that genre. This is like one of their best ever games as well, and it's just wonderfully put together, beautifully acted.
Cool.
Everything about it is really premium. It feels like a really decent piece of work. So yeah, that's 100% one of my best games of 2025, because most of the other ones I've not even bothered finishing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's good that you're giving us some games that, like, we're going pretty mainstream with our choices, so it's nice that there's some offbeat ones that people can discover, like you can help people discover. If they
I think it's the only really mainstream games I've played and enjoyed this year are Avowed and Outer Worlds 2, and they're very 7 out of 10, so it's very difficult to be like, that's one of the best ones,
Yeah, that's very fair.
That's fair. Well, my next game is mainstream, but also not mainstream. It's weird, but it is Blueprints. And
yes,
this is by far my most favourite game of the year. Lots of people have played it. Some people have bounced off it. Some people, like me, have been fully absorbed by it. But what a game! There's a few games that really have kind of drawn me in to an experience and given me goosebumps when I've played them, when I've made a discovery. Games like Fez, for instance, or what's that one with the fox, the little one that looks like an NES game?
Is it like Hero or something?
No, it's Tunic. That's it. Like games like Tunic, games that, like, puzzle games that have puzzles that are completely, you have to think out of the box, and a lot of the time the solutions are staring you right in the face the entire time, and then when they finally click, you're like, and then you can do loads of, I get it now, that I can see into the Matrix, I know Kung Fu. And Blueprints is just great. I got Blueprints about a month before it came out, so there were no guides or anything, and there was no one to talk to about it, so it felt like I was the only person in the world playing Blueprints. So Blueprints is basically set in this mansion, and you're a young kid who's inherited this mansion, and the mansion has like this weird procedural property to it, where every day you go to it, it's different. And it's different by way of, every time you touch a door, you get 3 random choices of rooms that you can put in, and then the goal is to make your way to the mysterious 46th room right at the end of the mansion. And the first few days you play it, in-game days, nothing really happens, and you're like, oh, okay, well, this is okay, I guess, for a little procedural puzzle game, but, nothing too good's happening. And then at a certain point, you'll notice something, because a lot of the solutions in Blueprints are right in front of your eyes, and you'll go, oh, holy shit, oh my god, what? I need to I need to go back to the beginning. I need to start and I need to plan my route and I need to get this room and I need to get this room. And then on your way to doing that, you realise something else. You're not, oh my God, I can do this if I do this. And then like I feel really like I want to tell you more stuff about it and about why it made me go, what the? But like if I do, it feels like I'll spoil massive things about it. So I don't really want to do anything too bad. If you, atmosphere wise, it's a little bit like Myst. If you ever played Myst back in the 90s, it's nothing like that puzzle wise, but that feeling of being in a different, like just a different place and then finding doorways and ways to get to different things and stuff, like it's honestly,
it sounds a bit like The Witness, where like when you get to a certain point in The Witness, it changes the entire game because you're like, like I understand now.
Yeah,
you know,
that is another good one. Yeah, very much like The Witness as well. But yeah, and it's, I think part of the magic for me is that I couldn't look for any guides, so I had to work things out all for myself, like because I could have, you know, when it comes out now, you get stuck 5 minutes in and go, oh, what's going on? Oh, okay. And if you look at a guide, you've spoiled half the game for yourself already. But for me, it was like, just felt like I was on my own personal, like, adventure through this mansion. And every day after work, I was like 3 or 4 hours in blueprints, just going around and going around. Like, I loved it. It's very rare that a game makes me, gives me goosebumps. Like, I'm cool. Old, I'm 27. No, I'm not. I'm 24. And I've played, you know, every horror game feels like I've played a horror game. Every action shooter feels like I played an action shooter. And then Blueprints just was like, hey, you haven't played this, Ian. And I was like, yeah, amazing. This is great. So yeah, Blueprints is by far my favourite game of the year.
Yeah, it sounds sick, honestly. I think I've seen it in like Steam sales and stuff. So
if you have Game Pass, it's free on Game Pass, and also PlayStation Plus Extra Ultimate, the little higher tier. So if you've got either of those, just give it a download. Give it like an hour or so until you make your first revelation, because at first you'll be like, he was talking shit, there's no revelations here.
He was lying.
That guy is an absolute oh, I'm in. All right, this is delicious video gaming.
I think a lot of people sit down to play something and then scream, you're talking shit, Hickton.
Yeah, every time I stream. So yeah, game of the year for me.
Incredible. Nice. Well, I think that leaves just me, right?
It does.
And then we're done all of them.
We have.
I would just like to say we do actually have a pub cat at the
Yay!
moment. So hello to our pub cat. His name is, what's like an otherworldly 1960s version of Toto? Like Tom or something.
Yeah, Tom. Just Tom, Tom the cat. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry everyone.
Would you like an ale, Tom?
Yeah,
he says
ale,
yes.
Tom.
Okay, yeah.
My favourite game, the last top 3 favourite game of 2025 is Silksong.
Ooh.
Oh my god. It's very hard to live up to expectations when you have a game that's been constantly hyped for like 10 years, 5 years or something. But Silksong really delivered on that for me. I know it's not perfect, especially when you get into Act 3. And there's one of the locations, I think called Bilgewater or Bilewater, had me throwing my controller over the room. And that's not an exaggeration, I got so annoyed at that route. But Silksong is fantastic. I loved Hollow Knight. It kind of became obsessed with it for about 2 months. And Silksong was just everything I wanted, in that it has more story behind it. There's a more concrete quest system, which is called Wishes in the game. And the way that the environments are built, you can read so much into them by, like, I hate to say it, environmental storytelling, but also like in the backgrounds that, you know, are obviously behind you when you're playing the game. It feels a lot more intentional from Team Cherry, and it's just, I think it's a really beautiful game to play when you consider the amount of kind of AI that's starting to invade the video game industry, because all of Silksong is hand-drawn. The environments are like, every little bit is hand-placed, so like they didn't do procedural generation. It's genuinely years and years of the devs, like truly like tailoring this experience to be what they want it to be. And it's just that feeling when you defeat a boss that you've been stuck on for ages. For me, it was the boss that's at the beginning of Act 2 is like, I forgot how good it feels, and that really kept me going throughout it. So I love Silksong. I would definitely recommend it. And it's the kind of game where, like, when you do start looking into the lore, because of course I'm going to talk about the lore, you start to have quite a lot of empathy for the enemies that you're fighting and what's really going on. So Silksong, absolutely, 100%.
Excellent choice. Excellent choice. Now, we have actually called this video Eurogamer's Video Team's Top 10 Games of the Year. We've done 9, 3 each, which leaves us with a 10th game. And this 10th game may be a little bit divisive. It certainly has been in our comments across the website and the YouTube channel. But
can you guess what it is, folks?
It begins with an A and ends with Ark Raiders. That's
It ends with people leaving really angry comments.
yeah.
I thought it was Kill the Brickman.
I don't even know what that means.
Kill the Brickman's the best game of the year.
Is it?
Okay,
What's
Yes,
Kill
game
the
where you-
Brickman?
There's loads of Brickmen, you gotta kill them.
cool.
It's like
So, Ark Raiders, anyway, before Jim starts talking
unbelievable.
about.
I was like, what the f*** is a Brickman?
But Ark
It's
Raiders
like, you know,
both.
Mist, right? You had a Mist.
Shut up.
It's nothing like that. Sorry.
Jim's just annoyed because he's not played Ark Raiders, and Zoe and I
I
have.
know, yeah.
haven't.
I was just gonna say, Ian and me have both played a chunk of Ark Raiders, and we have different opinions about it to the opinion you might be familiar with on our channel, which is that I really like it. I really, really like it. Ian,
Yeah.
what do you think of the game?
It's a very fun game. It's the type
Yeah.
of game where you can jump in for an hour, you're familiar with the map and the gameplay, but every time you go in, a different story is told because of the way you meet other human players. It's a bit like the reason why I love PUBG. The map's always the same in PUBG, but you go in and because you're up against all humans, it's always a different. You come out with a different story each time. One time, me and a bunch of randoms teamed up to kill a big spidery robot, you know. And another time, like I've been going around trying to get people to tell me they love me through the wasteland, and I've had people like gifting me watches and apricots and things. It's been real wholesome moments in there. We all obviously understand the negative connotations about AI slop and everything like that. We're not fans of AI slop and AI taking people's jobs, especially in an industry that we're in where it could take our jobs. We don't like that.
Which we may not be worried about, just like for external reasons, nothing to do with our actual job. But yeah.
At the same time, if you can look past the AI slot bits, which is the voice lines and some animations, the actual gameplay itself is really, really good fun. And I do feel a bit like, maybe I shouldn't like this game because it's got AI in, but I've had like probably about 60 hours worth of good times in it. So.
Yeah. So for me, the thing about Ark Raiders is exactly the same as you, Ian. Like, I am not a huge fan of online games where I'm meeting people I don't know because of some super bad experiences in the past. But in Ark Raiders, so mic off first for me, like, it's so cool to not know what you're going to get when you run into a stranger. So I've had team ups, I've had people just shoot me straight in the face. I had one dude who just like watched me die while holding bandages in his hand, and I was like, what the power play is going on here? But it's that kind of, it's more the community of Ark Raiders that I really love and enjoy participating in, because although obviously having like the arcs around and the environments themselves really cool to walk around in, it's the fact that like you never know what you're going to get out of a level, like at all. Like I could go in and just be like, I just need to find like 6 batteries and then I'm done, but like it's never as easy as just finding that one thing. And I also think the aesthetic of Ark Raiders is so cool. Like the retro futurism vibe is just like finger kiss.
Shout out to the sound effects as well. The weird like bloops and bloops and stuff that go in the background. They're quite scary. Like
you know what's scary? Tumbleweed. Like that stuff catches me off guard every single time when I think someone's like stalking me and it's just some tumbleweed rolling around.
That has made me jump before. Tumbleweed.
But
Yeah.
honestly, I really love Arc Raiders, and weirdly enough, it's an online game that I will happily play solo, whereas before I would never have done that. But with Arc Raiders, I feel like I can kind of trust players more than I can't, which means that I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll
Yeah.
play it
Yeah, it's
by
great.
myself.
What do you love about Arc Raiders, Jim?
I was actually going to say, if I could like defend it a little bit, they use some machine learning stuff for the animation of the robot enemies, I believe, as I understand it, which has been kind of wrapped up in this discussion about Gen AI. I think unfairly, but the way they've used machine learning to do those animations makes the animations look incredible. Like they are really very well realized kind of robot enemies, and the way they move and the way they kind of scuttle around the environment, the way it's unsettling in a way that is perfectly consistent with the universe. I think it's not that far away from like the Euphoria stuff that GTA 4 had and a few other games back in the day. I don't like the voice lines being AI generated, because there's a aside from all the issues with Gen AI, it's just not as good as just having a person say stuff. But we don't know the details of that. I suspect a lot of that is mandated. Creative people who would rather not do that stuff are being told they have to by their bosses, etc. So I don't want to use it as a stick to beat Arc Raiders, which is like patently a really good and well designed game, and there's a lot of really positive community stuff that's come out of it as well. So
there was a point.
As you say, it's great.
Yeah, there was a bit in there where someone killed me, and I was on my hands and knees, and I started screaming down the voice. I was like, "This guy's just shot me! This guy! He's wearing a hat! He's right by me! Come on!" And like people heard, ran up and like murdered him and like just killed him in front of me. I didn't get revived, but at the end, as I was like slowly dying out, I was like, "Thank you, you're awesome!"
That's so cool.
So I was, this horrible trolley guy murdered me,
You
and I
just
was
like
able
that.
to get revenge.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Terminator thumb.
I think that's the thing that I love so much about Arc Raiders, and I think you can hear in all of us on this video, is that it's a game that has so many human like stories in it, like not in just like a kind of airy fairy way, but in a like, this thing happened to me and it was really cool. Because we all know that playing games online can lead you into contact with some very unpleasant people who get very angry about their fake video game men getting shot. And I have feelings about that. But in Arc Raiders, it's so much more. It's almost like the community is policing itself, where like when you have someone who's toxic and being a dickhead, other people, like you just said, Ian, will turn up to be like, no, like we don't let that happen. And there's been debate about like, should we take PvP out of the game? But like, I did a video on it adapted from Conor McCarr's piece on Eurogamer.net about PvP and Arc Raiders, which is really good. That basically says like, this is the charm of Arc Raiders, is that you don't know whether you can or can't trust people. And unfortunately, in online spaces, it's very often that you can't trust them. So to have a space where you can feels great.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, so
and
Arc Raiders, definitely.
Yeah, kind of a weird, what's it called, where two things are different. I forget the word.
Dichotomy?
Yeah, something. So, like, we get in this game that was being bashed for using AI, giving us some of the most human elements in a video game of the year. Very weird. But listen, you guys, it's nearly time to ring the bell. I would kick people out, but it's Christmas. Let's have a lock-in. Let's go let's get smashed. Only one of these taps is out of ale, so we need to drink the kegs dry before the new year. So listen,
we've got some Scampi crisps in the back that I can crack open.
Yeah, there's some KP nuts and everything. So yeah, you lot at home, have a great Christmas and New Year. We'll be back in the new year with plenty more videos about video games. So don't forget to like and or subscribe, and have the best Christmas holiday times.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll see you in the new year for loads more cool stuff. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Where's the Scampi, Zoe?
Just in the back. Hang on,
Just
I'll
in the
go
back.
grab it.
Okay,
Let me go.
nice one. Yeah. Jim, why haven't you cleaned the pint glasses? Come on, dude.
Unbelievable.
I'm just incredibly lazy.
Workshop.